Well, we're really excited to have a special guest with us here, Ian Anderson, joining us alongside Steve West, Dylan Short on Wiley Ballard. Ian, Tommy John surgery is such a common theme that fans hear about, and I think there's a mindset of, oh, well, he'll be back in a year, no big deal. As somebody who's gone through it, how difficult is the rehab process and being away for the game for a full calendar year?
Yeah, it was tough. First, thanks for having me on. Yeah, it was tough. Still going through it, still, daily battles of, where you think you should be, where you want to be, and feeling good. That's the biggest thing at the end of the day. Thankfully with the surgery now, it's so common and been done, and rehab's been done so many times that it's not as scary as, say, 5-10 years ago, but there's, it's not a guarantee. So, I'm feeling good and ready to kind of keep attacking the rehab and be back before you know it.
I mean, it's a major arm surgery for a guy whose entire career rests on his arm.
Yeah,
so that's
exactly.
part of it.
It's stressful.
Yep. But it does have to make you feel a little bit better knowing how far everybody's come along and being able to where Tommy John at this point is almost a rite of passage for pitchers.
Yeah.
It's like, dang it, I dodged it in high school, and now I got it as a pro.
You hate saying that, but it doesn't. It is the unfortunate
And
reality.
I'm glad you said it the way that you did, because this is going to sound really weird the way I phrase this. But when that happened to you this year, you were working on some different things mechanically. You were kind of switching up some things. So in that vein, I was kind of wondering, did that actually kind of help make some of the changes that you wanted to make? Maybe kind of nail down what you wanted to do, the plan of attack for coming back, or was it one of those where it's just crap, now everything's on hold until we get started back up?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I'd been battling it for a bit. Nothing like glaring symptoms, but definitely just not feeling like myself. So kind of just get it checked out, get everything. Get the peace of mind to realize that something was actually wrong, and some of the struggles that I went through were probably caused by it was good. And yeah, kind of went into the rehab process, obviously wanting to get healthy, feeling good, but also make some changes. So we've done a good job, the coaches I've been working with, of trying to kind of be on the forefront of doing some mechanical stuff that I wanted to accomplish. And I really like where I'm at right now.
So you're coming out of Clifton Park, New York, Albany area, AA state championship in 2016. You're committed to play college ball at Vanderbilt, but you're also the 3rd overall pick in the 2016 draft. Gulf Coast League, Danville, Rome, Florida Fire Frogs. I got to say that one.
Yeah, I've played for some teams that don't exist anymore.
The best uniforms ever.
Only in 8 years, there's some teams that aren't around anymore, which happens fast.
Yeah,
Life comes at you
quick. You're not that old. I mean.
End of the 2019 season, you're recognized as the Braves organization pitcher of the year, and then 2020 hits. And like so many of the young guys we talk to, the world stops. You're invited to spring training, but you're on the list of the 60 players that the Braves could use at some point once that 60-game season started. And on August 26th, you're promoted to the big leagues. Tell us what that process was like.
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, spring training. I'd just gotten, sent out as a non-roster like the day before everything happened. So went to Gwinnett when everything kicked back up for the alternate site, and things kind of clicked for me there. Put together a few really good performances down there, and they decided to give me a shot, and everything happened pretty quickly after that. It's one of those things where you want the chance so bad, and you know that. You just try to make the most of it, and that's kind of what happened.
You get your first game of a doubleheader against the Yankees, 6 innings, 1 earned run, and a first 5 1/3 without giving up a hit.
That was the
start
Garrett Cole
you.
start, I believe, right? That was the outdoor Garrett Cole.
Yeah, it was a doubleheader because I was supposed to pitch the day before, and it got rained out. So I think we had me and Max going back-to-back and won both games. It was pretty special. I mean, I think Cole hadn't lost a start in about 30 starts or 29
yes,
starts.
I remember that very well.
Yeah, Ronald took him deep in the first inning, so it was kind of welcome to the big leagues moment in a way. No fans, obviously, but you could still
kind of, hey, we're here now.
You could
guys.
still feel the change in the game and kind of how fast it was moving, and that's a game I'll never forget.
Did it feel different the first time you pitched in the big leagues in front of fans?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That would have been playoffs that year, and that wasn't even a full crowd.
Yeah.
So, but it was quite a bit different, and I think I was ready to play in front of fans, but I think not necessarily playing in front of fans definitely helped me ease into it a little bit.
I got you. As far as 2024 goes, and coming off of Tommy John, who have you leaned on relationship-wise as you go through this? Coaches, teammates, who's been the people in your corner kind of encouraging you?
Yeah, so I mean, my twin brother plays professionally with Texas, and he had Tommy John about a year before me. So, been chatting with him about the process and everything, and like you said, it's so common nowadays. There's so many guys in the organization that have been through it, and Matzik recently, having gone through it, be back strong this year. So he's such a good resource for everyone. Just the stuff he's battled, the mental stuff, the injuries, just everything in this game that could possibly be thrown at you. He's one of the best resources around that we have. So, he's been great. And, it is a team effort. You got to trust the PTs, trust the trainers, trust everyone that's, put in those positions, and be truthful, be honest with them so that you can come back as best as you can.
You've also been, I don't know if we touched on this last year, but you're a little bit of a throwback pitcher with your mechanics and your motion, that kind of really straight over the top arm. In a day and age where everything's about induced vertical break and the lowered release heights, or is that anything that you even, does that change the way that you have to focus on which pitches you want to add in your arsenal? For example, I'm always on one of those saying I want to see a horizontal cutter, slider, or whatever, but coming straight over the top, it's got to be a little bit more difficult to kind of pronate and get that little shift out.
It's tough. It's one of those things, you don't want to necessarily completely change the way you've thrown, because you've thrown that way your whole life, and that's kind of how you got here. So, but there's always things that you have to be working on. And the biggest thing for me, and I think it's kind of what's helped me out the most, is just the mentality of it all. You have to go out there, you have to believe in yourself, and that can get you a long way in this game.
Is there a chance we see a cutter added into the repertoire?
We'll see. I'm not throwing any breaking pitches yet in my rehab, or not even throwing changeups yet. So it's only been the number one. So
last one for me, Ian. I was reading up. Your team that played in the Babe Ruth World Series, 14 and under, was coached by Tom Herter.
Yes.
Father of teammate and future NBA star Kevin Herter.
Yep.
They got Luka and the Mavericks tonight. You going to be tuning in?
I might. I saw what he did to the Hawks last night.
We didn't have to bring that up.
That's it was pretty special. Just kind of playing with him growing up, and we had great teams. Playing with all my buddies from high school and younger kids from my town. It was fun. We had a great group. My dad helped coach out too. So it was still really good friends with most of those guys.
Last thing for me, just kind of having to take a step back last year with the injury. How different is the perspective when you're actually sitting there and watching from, say, the same point of view that you're getting from pitching coaches and everything like that? Does it change the way that you approach your own styles, of the way that you think about pitching, sequencing, little small things that maybe make a little bit of a difference?
Yeah, I think so. At first I think I was a little sour towards just everything.
Obviously, I want to get away from it.
Yeah,
for
so
a while.
I didn't watch a ton of baseball at the beginning of the year, but as the season went on, obviously followed or knew the team was doing amazing, which was the least surprising thing of all time. So, as the season wore on, I just kind of got the itch again, and as I picked up a ball and started throwing, I got the itch again, and it definitely changes the perspective. And I'm big on having perspective on just everything you go through. It's things happen for a reason, so that to have a perspective of your situation and just kind of everything around you, I think is big.
Before we let you go, will you go down to spring training, pitchers and catchers report, or are things different for you in the rehab process?
Yeah, so I've been down there,
Okay.
so I'll keep trucking along what I've been doing. Schedule might look a little bit different. Not sure how much you guys will see of me, but just know I'll be working hard and trying to make that comeback as soon as possible.
Well, we appreciate you driving all the way up here just for this interview. Thank you so much. I know it's the most important thing you did today.
Thank you, guys.
That's Ian Anderson, pitcher for the Braves. So hoping to have him back in the second half of 2024.